Hello, hello, hello. I will try to keep this one fairly wow, okay. Words. Fairly short. Let me just go get some an energy drink real quick. Allow me to sip on this so I can, wake up a little bit. What's that? Oh, it's your ball. Okay, here you go, bud. Okay. Sorry, I had to deal with my dog there for a little bit. Um, Logistics, transports, and design. Okay, that's nice. That is nice. Alright, okay, better. I feel better already. So we're going to try to keep this goal. Ammunition transport, you will need a collier. A collier is different than a supply ship. A collier focuses more on, okay, ammo. Supply ship has supplies, like spare parts. And then your tankers will have fuel. I have this marked as all three. Hopefully it will be able to do all three. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I can do that? Nope, that doesn't change anything, so I don't care. Ordnance transfer rate, 48 MSP, that's missiles, from what I understand. It's like missiles per hour. Nice. Cool, awesome, amazing, wonderful. Hangar deck, I like to have hangar decks on each and everything. This isn't optimal at all. You probably don't want this on your ammunition transport or on your freighters, because I have to design a new freighter. This one's going to be redesigned into... It's not even being redesigned. It's going to be, well, yeah, reassigned into a tanker. And then we will copy the class and design it back into a freighter. But then we will rename it to Aurora. And that way things make sense here. That's something I thought of after I did that. But, it just makes sense now. The tanker will be classified as a tanker. These will be classified as supply ships. Cool, commercial vessel. Also, you want to get rid of the no armor distinction on them. No armor means you cannot throw armor on them, and you cannot throw any... Go lay down. I'm kicking him out. He's not going to be allowed in here. My bad. I am sorry for that. Looks like it got fairly loud, but not stupendously loud. But, yeah. I apologize. Someone has arrived. Alright, let's hop back into this. Alright. The Aikuchi and the Kizukuchi. Kizukuchi is a military vessel. How you change this is how you get these from military vessels to commercial vessels, which you probably will want. Let me explain that. Why would you want the difference between a commercial vessel and a military vessel? Military vessel is going to be decided based upon the engine, and you probably want your colliers to only be a military vessel, because you don't really want your civilians to be having ammunition, if you will. Your tankers might not be useful carrying a lot of ammunition. Maybe having it keep a little bit, like the way I do with my hangar decks, and the troop capacity. The reason why they have any of that is because lore. Lore purposes is, well, obviously the ammunition transport would have troop capacity and hangar deck capacity, maybe. But the reason why these would have it at all is because, I already removed it. Nice. because of the state mandate that you have space allocated for military transport or for military what is it called, inspection. Everything is ready for military acquisition, basically, because this is a highly militarized society. I hope that did not get too loud. Alright. Yeah. I have no idea who that is or why they're here, but it's fine. This is armored up to 2, so if we do component... Nah, it doesn't show it. It's fine. So yeah. The reason why I'm even bothering with this is because we need to redesign it. It has a bridge. This needs to have... what is it? Command control. A flag bridge and auxiliary control. We're going to get rid of the normal bridge. Why is it not getting rid of the normal bridge? I'm confused. Where's the engine? CTE. This is just a commercial engine I have designed. Can I then get rid of the... Why is the bridge is not working? I have a flag bridge. Why is it not getting rid of the normal bridge? That's annoying. That's something that did not happen beforehand. Class components. Can I then throw on... Nope, I still have to have a bridge. That's weird. Well, the Dara is supposed to have a bridge. Kizukuchi is supposed to have a bridge. This thing's supposed to have what's called a flag bridge, which gives you better control. And then it's supposed to have an auxiliary bridge. But I guess the bridge is fine too. I don't know. I don't like it, but it'll be fine. The thing that we're doing here is making sure that it's cargo, mainly cargo hold, with a magazine capacity. Fueling system so it can be fueled. Some maintenance decks so that it can be fairly good. Military should have 12. Well, these have 6 because they're not supposed to be ridiculously long. They're also supposed to be relatively fast. And I'll show you how and why later. But for now, very small bays. It's supposed to have 2. These ones only have 1. And this one has not very small. However, a very just normal small. There we go. Very small. Very small. And this one just has small. So it has more space. It needs cryo bays. This does not have a cryo bay. Does it need one? There's something in here that's taking up a lot of space that is not needed. Besides maybe the hangar deck. The fuel storage is not taking up that much space. Those are military Oh yeah, that's right. We need to get rid of these. The EP-77s. Replace them with EP-89s. They are stronger, but way bigger. Do we want it to be that big? I'm not too certain. I don't know. Maybe we can get away with only having one. I'm not too certain. Has a salvage system on it. So, that should be actually fine on this thing, because what it does is it has storage, it has a magazine, cargo space, and it has a cargo shuttle. Supply ship, it's a tanker because it can hold more than 500,000 liters, and it can give fuel. It has 33 billion kilometers. For instance, I know that 2 billion kilometers is 13 AU approximately. So this thing has more than 130 AU. Still nowhere near 1 light year, but still plenty of range, to be fairly honest. Plenty of range. This thing, on the other hand, needs to have a different story onto it. So, the freighter is going to have 2 of these. The tanker has 3. They're going to be fairly slow. That's fine. You don't need your freighters to be that quick. Especially if they're ridiculously large like this one. The ammunition transport needs to be fast. Not super fast, but fast enough to moderately keep up with the fleet and not leave the fleet lagging behind for too long. The tankers are fine because they carry a lot of fuel, so they can be slow. And also they need more fuel in general. Typically I'd say that sounds good right there. We want it to be roughly 100,000, but here's something else we have to do. Probably get rid of the salvage module. That's not very useful. MSP of 8,000 is a lot. We can get rid of quite a bit of space by just getting rid of all of those. 3 engineering spaces, we can get it down to just that. You don't have to worry that much about engineering because 5,000 MSPs should be more than enough. You typically want more MSP than your max repair. Now, this MSP is different than the missile MSP. This it stands for, what's it called right here? Storage capacity for maintenance supplies. Maintenance supply. And the repair is 50 MSP. So, plenty of supplies for plenty of repairs. This has 103.3 billion kilometers of range, which is amazing, wonderful. Fairly slow, but not extremely slow. 3 cryogenic. I think we can get rid of that. Should be fine. Yeah, that's one of the other things that was going. This does not have any cryogenic support because it's military. These are supposed to be guarded. So the idea is that because these have escorts, they don't need their own guns. That way we can save more space for more fuel and stuff. One small. Probably an extra magazine. If not 2. No beam fire controls. And an extra cargo hold. Extra couple cargo holds. Extremely tiny cargo holds. It's fine. Class component. Maybe get rid of one of these and have another ordnance transfer system on there. Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. Throw the magazine back on. That's not what I clicked on. Alright, it should be fine. So the purpose of this is to have space and ammunition, and then to give it to other people and other things. It also is supposed to have a very quick engine. Not super fast, but quick. Enough to stay with the fleet and keep supply lines running smoothly. What else do we have? Cargo shuttle bay. Maybe we get rid of one of these to add another shuttle space. Shuttle bay, I should say. There you go. Shuttle bay. Nice, nice, nice. That should be fine. I think I did get rid of the hangar decks in the other one. But this is supposed to be a repair bay slash, what's it called? A fueler, repair bay, spare parts, ammunition, anything we could need to throw on this thing, we can throw on it. A little bit of troops even, as with all ships. A little bit of troops, and even some hangar deck capacity. This should have another small hangar deck. Purpose of doing so here is... Oh, does a hangar deck immediately turn it into a military vessel? Interesting. Nope. It has 5? Why does it have 5? Why is it classified as a military ship? Something's wrong here. Okay, it was that. Interesting. Alright, well. Since it can't have the flag bridge, we'll have it have an auxiliary control. Commercial vessel. It will have the hangar vessel. This thing is not supposed to be many of them are not supposed to be built. Has a lot of cargo. Has a little bit of troop capacity. Has a little bit of colonization capability. Because it does have just so much crew. We're like, yo, there's already a mini city inside of here. Why not? Where is it? Colonist transport. That's not what we're talking about. What am I looking for? What else am I looking for? Has a little bit of magazine capacity. Oh, the hangar. Hangar deck. Right in front of your face, bud. I believe it has a little bit of hangar. Does the hangar actually do that? The hangar might have done it. The hangar might have also contributed. Yep, okay. So it doesn't have any hangar capacity. Interesting. This thing is supposed to be huge. It does need salvage. It does need harvester. It's all good. That's there for a reason. probably not that much. God bless America. Everything's being loud today. Probably does not need that much maintenance. Just saying. It will still have a lot because it is a very large ship. Not having a lot of maintenance and engineering would just be kind of dumb. It's supposed to be deployed for a very long time, so it should be a good idea to keep a lot of maintenance on board. Doesn't need a lot of armor. Should probably have a little bit more fuel. But I think that amount of fuel should be fine. The Dara is supposed to be way smaller. Oh, that's what's keeping this thing super huge. It has a ton of cargo space. It does not need cargo space as much as it needs fuel. This is why I'm making the video, because that's something that I learned beforehand that I needed to make sure I did, and I think that's something important to say. Make sure you keep your objective in mind and you're not trying to throw cargo space onto your tanker when you should be trying to have more fuel capacity. Where's the fuel storage at? 5,000. Probably not that much. No, I'm thinking about it. Now that I think about it, probably not that much. Cargo holds fine. Even throwing a cargo shuttle bay should be fine on there. It should be around 30,000. 25,000. Probably not even having a standard on there. Because the standard is 25,000 and this was only there. So still has some cargoes on there. Troop capacity, obligatory troop capacity. Fuel harvester. Refueling capability. Large maintenance bay. It's fine. Should be fine, right? Yeah, it's fine. 34,000. That looks to be good. It is going 343. It's a little bit more than I want it to be. A little bit faster than I want it to be. Because I flippin' did it wrong. Alright, I remember now. I did it backwards. You're supposed to have 3. You're only supposed to have 2. Because you're super slow. There you go. Might throw a second one onto this. Not too certain. Because if I do that, then I'll probably just want magazine space. While throwing on more cargo holds. 2 cargo shuttles, that's fine. Troop transport we already have. Don't want salvage on that one. Orbital mining module we don't want. We already have a bunch of magazines on there. We already have a hangar deck on there. Oh, I see the difference here. ton of fuel storage. What are we trying to get on here? Oh, probably some cryogenic support for the flippin' crew. That would probably be, yeah, okay. And then throwing on another 2 cargo holds wouldn't hurt too much. There you go. MSP, max of 31, having... Alright, we're gonna get rid of... we're gonna get rid of, we're gonna add a maintenance bay. Should only be 50 tons. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Perfect. Good. Awesome. Amazing. Maintenance life of 5.03 years. Cool. Fine. Should be a perfect design now. Under 30 or under 15,000 tons. And it should go... Oh, shoot. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, what does it have that we don't need a lot of? We don't need that. There. Probably can get rid of one of these in exchange for another engine. So now it can go pretty fast. It goes faster than the bombers, believe it or not. Which is nice. Good amount of cargo. Not a huge amount of cargo. 500 in the magazine capacity. That should be fine for now. Because we're not trying to... Remember, we're not trying to support a large operation quite yet. So we can afford to be a little bit chimsy on it. We can always just design another vehicle. There we go. 3,000 cargo. 200 berths for the crew. Troop capacity of 200 tons. That's fine. It's awesome. Amazing, even. So I'm going to produce a couple of these. We want to produce a couple of Daras. Maybe just one Dara, because they are very big. Troop capacity in the magazine. We don't need magazines. Now that I'm thinking about it, we don't need magazines. But I'll keep it. 25,000. 3 of these. The tankers only have 2 of them. Perfect. The tanker is fine. It's fine. Okay. These things have 3. It's supposed to be a little bit slower. 1 standard, 2 tiny, or 2 small. I don't know about that. 2 emergency. We'll keep it like that. Oh, we don't need... These are freighters, right? It doesn't save a lot of space, but it saves a little bit. The emergency storage. That's really what it is. 250,000 liters is the emergency storage, and then it uses mostly the 10,000. Lore-wise, that's not how it actually works in a game, just lore-wise. What else can we throw in this thing? What else can we take away first? Magazine, maybe. Take away a couple of these. It doesn't really need all that. Freighter doesn't need a salvage module. It doesn't need a sodium harvester. It makes sense for this to have a sodium harvester, not a salvage module though. This has a salvage module and sodium harvesters, probably even an orbital mining system thing on it. Why? Because this is a huge ship meant to do basically anything. It's 25,000 tons. With its main purpose being to store cargo. And this is why. This is why I'm making the video. It's supposed to be short. Maybe short for me, but not short for you guys. This game is very time intensive, I will say that much. We'll try to put it at 30,000. Putting another very large in there. There we go. 30,000. Carrying a ton of materials. You can get a ton of fuel on there for very little bit of space. It's fairly nice. A bunch of fuel. More fuel than I think we have in the entire empire, to be fairly honest, but it's fine. Complete refuel takes 200 hours. It only has one. This one should have two. That's what we're missing on this bad boy here. What do we have that we can get rid of? It's supposed to have cargo holds. It says one. This is supposed to have two. This is supposed to have two. This is supposed to have like five. It's supposed to also have more cargo. Maybe even three. But what's taking up so much space? Let's see. Has a commercial magazine. Doesn't need that much. Honestly, keeping it around 35,000 is perfectly fine. Oh, it needs to be bigger. This one needs to be 50,000. I keep forgetting. So, yeah, that's perfectly fine. We need more cargo holds. There. That should be literally perfect. There we go. This thing is massive. What does it not need that it has a bunch of? It does not need... Oh, they each have 10,000? Okay. 2 flippin' salvage modules will be fine. 2 salvage modules will be more than fine. With that, we can probably get rid of these small ones. Maybe even throw on a standard. Yep. Fine. Of course. Okay. These 3 are for the emergency ones. You have 2 for the crew and 1 for passengers, and then you have a small cryogenic transport for potentially colonies if it wanted to be a pseudo colony ship. It does have a orbital miner on it. That way it can be deployed for a long period of time somewhere out there. This thing would probably just get sent to the somewhere like the moon. Like, this is not gonna reach Jupiter within a good amount of time, to be fairly honest. We need better engines for that, but that should be perfectly fine. It's still a bit faster than what I really want them to be. What I remember them being anyways, but that's fine. It's not a bad thing. It's not a great thing, but it's not a bad thing. It's just so huge. 2 modules producing 80,000 liters per annum. 2 modules capable of salvaging 1,000 tons per day. Nice. Maybe want it to have a bit more fuel so that it can go a bit further if need be. There. That should be fine. It can act like a tanker as well. Commercial vessel, and commercial vessels. Although we're not going to be using Kaidaras, they're just too expensive for the military to really need as a necessity. Freighters are useful as a pseudo ammunition transport, or more as for like parts and whatnot. So we will have a freighter and a tanker, and I will automatically build that. You go to the priority/miscellaneous, throw it to this, grab the Kizuchi, Kizuchi. Yeah, okay, I did say that right. Why did I think Haikuchi, Kizuchi, minimum fuel. 50,000, yep, okay. And we'll build 3 of these. Do we have a mothership? No. We'll build We only really want one freighter and maybe 2 tankers. That's all we need for the military. So yeah, should be fine. And I'll go ahead and I'll end the video there. Just quickly going through the components of what we designed. We designed an ammunition transport, mainly focusing not so much on cargo space, but on having magazine capacity, as well as a little bit of cargo with even some hangars and a few maintenance storage bays. That way it could transfer some parts even. Maybe repair fighters. We designed a Dara, which is our freighter. This is the actual main cargo bay. This is what our commercial, what do they call them? Civilian companies will actually make, and this is what they will use. We will use a couple of these for less of ammunition and more for maintenance parts. We won't need as many of them, and they're really slow, so we're probably not even going to want to use them that much. Tankers we will use, we'll probably design a military tanker later on, if we find that we have a need for a military tanker, because the Ikuchi can function as a tanker, because it does have a lot of fuel in it, but it's not really its main purpose, and it cannot hold nearly as much fuel as maybe the tanker can properly hold. Just in comparison, you can see that the tanker can hold literally 24 times the amount of fuel, but it's also like 3 times slower, so it's probably not going to be preferred, but it will be nice to have a supply line of like having one tanker move around from the fuel, where we're like harvesting fuel at one point, having a tanker move it to like a depot or a military depot or a military station where we have a few ammunition transports waiting, and then have the ammunition transports actually take it to where it needs to go, to the actual military units and stuff like that, you know, the fleets. Which is what it has set up for. I forget where it's at. The supply lines. Is that in here? Fleet, logistics report, shipping line. Yeah, so you have this right here. That's, from what I understand, is made for that exact purpose. So, it's neat, you know? And with that, I will say, please like the video if you liked this type of content. Check out the other videos if you like this type of content as well. Maybe even subscribe. Throw a like. If you didn't like it, go ahead, throw a dislike. But hopefully, I hope you try to have a good day, and I hope to see you all later. Goodbye.